Stay tuned for the Joan Quinn Profiles. Joan served the state of California as a member on the Arts Council and on the Film Commission. She was formerly on the Architectural Commission and fulfilled 2 terms on the Fine Arts Commission for the city of Beverly Hills. As an editor for Andy Warhol's Interview magazine, Condé Nast Publications, and the Hearst Corporation, Joan covered the world of fashion, the mysteries of food, the excitement of theater, and the international art scene. She continues to find people who are on the cutting edge of their professions. Here's Joan AGAJAINIan Quinn.
Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome to the Joan Quinn Profiles. We're here taping at the Hollywood Museum on Highland Avenue in the historic Max Factor building. And our guests waiting to be profiled are 2 actresses today, Alexandra Keller and Katherine James. Actress Alexandra Keller was born and raised in Switzerland. She earned a degree in business and completed her banking diploma, which took her to the Union Bank of Switzerland as a junior investment advisor. But Hollywood was calling her. So her 2-year course at the Stella Adler Theater led her to short films, independent movies, and a variety of other projects. So Alexandra, how could you leave banking and come to LA?
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what to answer. I guess you always say it this way, you only have one life. And you have this dream that's burning inside of you, and you can never have regrets.
Did you have theater in your family?
No, nothing.
Did you have banking in your family?
No, neither. But I mean, I'm Swiss, so it's very typical to do banking.
Is it?
It's a good business to be in.
Were you in Zurich?
Yeah, headquarters.
And so you worked there for how long?
Well, I was closer to where I grew up, which is like a tiny little town. That's where I was first in banking, also investment banking. Then I moved to Zurich, which was the, I guess, next step up, you know, to the VIP people.
And then you went, no.
For a few years, and I was like, yeah, I really don't care if the stock market is going up or down. I just need to do this, you know.
Why did you go to New York or to London or someplace?
It was always Hollywood. It's kind of my personality. It's everything or nothing, and to me, Hollywood was everything. So
is that right?
Yeah, I feel like that's the place where you have to be if you want to.
Did you know anyone here?
No.
And how did you make the move? What did your family say?
Well, I mean, my mother is in a sense somebody that she accepts in a sense. She's more on the quiet side. And my father said, well, I wish you had kept going and doing a PhD in business and this and that, but I raised you to be an independent person. I accept your decision, and we'll support you in every way we can. But
you were, at least you had been working, so they knew you were mature enough to come. And then how did you find Stella Adler program?
Well, actually, I came first, maybe like a year before that, I came and went to UCLA. I did some courses there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I met some friends, already did some little acting courses. I went back home to an illness, due to an illness of my mother. And then after a year, I just had to do it.
So then you came back and you knew about Stella Adler because you'd been to extension courses?
Yeah, I did some extension courses, and then I just emailed all the people I had met during the 3 months and asked if they know somebody or something, and they told me about Stella Adler. And I went there for an interview, they accepted me, and then that's kind of how it started.
So you sound like you have a Swedish accent.
Well, Swiss-German.
Is it?
But Swiss-German is like softer than the German. So,
is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So, but you grew up near the Alps.
Oh yeah,
right
on the foot.
You were at the foot of the Alps.
Foot of the Alps.
And that means you were very athletic.
Oh yeah.
What'd you do?
I love hiking. I'm always up in the mountains. The same thing here. I mean, constantly somewhere in the canyons. I just love to be outdoors. And I had my own horse for over 15 years.
Yeah, you were a licensed horseman?
I did
what
jumping.
Is that? Oh, for jumping.
I did professional jumping, yes.
And did you teach that?
I taught a little bit, yes. But I went to a lot of competitions, mainly jumping, some dressage, and I taught a little bit, yeah.
But all in Switzerland or all through Europe?
Well, the riding, the professional riding, mainly in Switzerland. I do some riding here, but not just for fun. So, yeah.
What about sports cars? You were into sports cars?
I have one standing outside. Yeah.
What is that? Well, you have a driver's some kind of special license for that too, right?
Well, Well, not directly. It's just I always say I'm driving a stick shift because most Americans drive automatic, and I just love if it's a sports car. I feel like it should be stick shift. It's more fun.
Do you find the similarities from California to Switzerland because you like to ski? Do you ski here?
I haven't skied in California because usually I go home once or twice a year, and during winter time I'm home for at least 2-3 weeks. So I go to Switzerland and Austria skiing.
And then we have biking down by the beach, and you had biking at home.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I did a lot of biking back home. And rollerblading on the beach and all that stuff. I need to do stuff.
You need to do
I need to do stuff.
Do you still take classes, acting classes?
Right now I haven't recently, but I always did on and off some different classes, but I will probably do some. You
studied at the Hull Studios too.
Yeah.
Who were those people?
That was a really long time ago. I think it was kind of a private class, 2 women, and it was just a small little thing for a few weeks, or maybe a month or so.
I see. Tell us what you learned actually at Adler that led to these independent roles and the kind of acting that you wanted to do.
Well, I think coming from another country and not knowing anybody, literally you come with your 2 suitcases and you're just like standing on Hollywood Boulevard. It was a little bit of a home, you know. It was somewhere, a place to go, a place to be, and it gave me confidence because it's like you were there and you just had to be on stage and do stuff, you know.
And what did they teach you?
Well, we had script analysis, we did a lot of plays. I mean, we had to do a lot of scene study, which was really great. We really dissected the script because it's a method acting, which I like. And, I mean, then we had dance classes from ballet to salsa to voice classes.
Complete,
movement.
Thorough, completely?
Yeah, it's a complete 2-year full program.
And some of the professors there then sent you to SC so that you could be in some of those independent films?
Yeah, actually there was or there still is, I actually just talked to him last week, a professor from Moscow. And he loved me, and he always called me the Swiss Greta Garbo.
Oh, that's why, the German.
And he also taught at USC, and he wanted me to be part of their student films, which was a really great start because it gets you experience being in front of the camera, which is different from the stage. So I did a lot of USC thesis projects, etc.
Oh, you did, for people who were writing their masters and doctors? Oh, that's fabulous.
It was an amazing experience. And I'm still in contact with a lot of these directors and producers that are doing stuff now too, now that they're done, so it's great.
Were they writing for you, or were they just casting you in the roles that they had already written?
Usually it was like something that already existed and I was cast into it, and sometimes they added stuff because of maybe my personality or where I came from, or it just depends sometimes.
When you go out for auditions, what type of roles do you go out for?
A lot of times I get kind of strong independent women roles, which I love. I loved it. Although the last project was now a kind of a funny comedy thing, but usually strong or independent.
And you run into the same people all the time?
I want to say mainly networking. What I do a lot, what I've always done, is a lot of networking. I mean, I always go to film festivals, screenings, events. I mean, I'm constantly out there.
When you go to an audition, is there another tall, blonde, blue-eyed person there trying out for the same role? That's what I mean. Do you run into those same kind of people?
I guess sometimes, because that's sometimes what they're looking for, right? And sometimes it's intimidating when you see all these people there, but then you just have to let it go. And
you speak French and you speak German, you said. Do those help?
Spanish,
and Spanish. Do those help you? The German and French help you in getting a role?
The German part, since it's really my mother tongue and my whole ethnicity and look and all that, yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of people love to use that. Again, the last project was all about being European and all that. And yes. I love to promote that. I love my country, and I make a point that I am from Switzerland, and I kind of use that, you know.
Would you go back to banking?
No. No.
Are you writing at all?
No, but the banking helped me because I always said Hollywood is a business, you know, and
yes.
I was in financing. So what I started also with a lot of people, I work on a lot of projects also on the back side, on the producing financing side.
Oh, you do?
Trying to, put the stuff together, since I just meet a lot of people all the time. So I'm just trying to make things happen in a sense.
Oh, that's great. And also, what about directing? Had you ever thought about that?
I actually
Did you have?
had a talk this week with a producer for a project, and I think I would really like that too. But I feel like one step at a time. Right now I want to focus a little bit more on acting again and really push that, and maybe a little bit on the production side. I just want to make good projects happen.
TV?
Oh yeah, I love TV. I was like, when I kind of started doing, I had like little things on like Grey's Anatomy and just like little background parts, but you were a doctor and all that. It was just so much fun, and you could just drive up to Hollywood, be on set all day and drive home, and you had still a normal life, you know?
Yeah, that's great. Right. Oh, with the series, when you were doing series. What about the stage? Have you done stage?
Yeah.
You did stage,
I mean,
said.
back home I did some stage, because back home there's not really a big film industry, so I did some stage back home. And obviously Stella Adler is a big theater school, so we did a lot of stage then. But yeah, right now I love the camera more. I love like the subtleness about it, you know, not go too big. I really love like the close-up where you just do a little bit and it shows.
Do you have a director that you'd like to work with?
I haven't really thought about that. Just in general, I'm just looking forward to working with just really great, positive people on just really deep, good projects that are just making a difference in this world.
Will make a difference. You were just in a project at LA Live. Short films, were they?
It is a film project festival called 48 Hour. It's a really fun concept, and yeah, I had the lead in that little film, and that it premiered at LA Live last week. Actually twice. They asked us to come back a second time, which it was just amazing to see it on the big screen and all that.
And you're very friendly with the Swiss consul here?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's the Swiss consulate is amazing. They're really helping us and pushing us. They have these events for Creative Swiss where we gather and meet and discuss things. So it's really great.
That's fantastic. So thank you very much for coming on and talking to us.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And thanks for watching that part of the show. We'll be right back with actress Katherine James. Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome back to the Joan Quinn Profiles. We're here at the Hollywood Museum as the guest of Danelle Dadigan. And I'm with actress Katherine James, who also writes, directs, and produces, and has done this so long for the past 40 years. She's a graduate of Illinois Wesleyan and has a BA in theater from there. She's earned her MFA at the American Conservatory Theater. You've seen her on stages across the U.S. and on TV, and she's a member of the Seedling program.
That's right.
Tell me what that is. It's a Theatricum Botanicum.
Yes, the Seedling program is a wonderful part of what Theatricum does. It's for new plays and new playwrights.
Ah.
And it fills sort of an, seedlings
Seedling.
from Theatricum, right, from the tree.
Right.
It fills a function that most playwrights don't have in the United States. You can submit a play and have it read and have a first reading done, but it doesn't count as a workshop or it doesn't count as a production.
Well, what's the difference?
Well, because most places that accept new plays are interested in something that's never been done anywhere before.
So if you say you've had a workshop, then it's been done,
Oh, it's
right?
been done, it's over.
I see, I see.
And of course in theater, we develop, right? A play gets developed over a period of time. And so Seedlings fulfills that wonderful requirement.
We're talking about Seedlings, and we're talking about Theatricum Botanicum, which has been so hard for me to say. Will
You did a good job, yes, that was
I've
good.
been trying for years when we had all of those people on the show years ago. But tell us what it is and where it is, because I think that's the real beauty of it.
Absolutely. Theatricum Botanicum is in Topanga, California, which is a beautiful exquisite community. And I know that a lot of people who see your show are in urban areas, but some of them are also in the country. And as my mother from DeKalb, Illinois says, whenever she comes in, and I know you have viewers in Wisconsin, it's like home, she says.
Coming to this little place?
Coming to that theater is like home because you're suddenly out in the country, you're out in the woods. And you come into this extraordinary outdoor theater that's been there for 40 years.
All outdoors?
It's all outdoors.
So during the winter there are no productions?
There are no productions during the winter.
I see.
No productions during the winter.
And how large a house is it?
It's a 300-seat house, the main stage, and then there's a small space as well. Everything's professional, so it's all equity, both spaces. About 140, 150 seats, the small space.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's tucked away? There's nothing inside?
There is nothing inside.
What about backstage?
Backstage, very interesting. So backstage in the large theater, because it is a large, you would look at it and go, oh my gosh, this is a Shakespeare theater. You can tell Shakespeare is done there. There's something called the tiring house, which is, it's an old Elizabethan term for when you retired into a place, right? So the tiring house is where all the costumes are and all the dressing rooms are there.
So that's closed.
And that's an enclosed place. But you also can make entrances and exits from there.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, right, you know, there on the stage by the mountain.
And you dress there?
Oh yeah, you dress there, and you know, you spend time there, sort of a green room space, and then you enter and exit from there and from other entrances and exits as well.
You started very young.
I did.
At 5 years old,
5
you
years
said,
old.
in the community theater?
Absolutely, in DeKalb, Illinois.
So how did that happen? You said your mom comes out to the theater here.
Absolutely.
But was she in theater?
My mother was in theater because she married my father.
Who was?
Who was Dr. Eugene Nelson James. My father was, until he passed away recently, my father was the living authority on a restoration, English restoration playwright named George Farquhar.
Oh, so he had just one person that he developed or that he knew all about?
You know, academia, it's a fascinating, is it not? Okay, so that was his main person, but he was very knowledgeable in the theater. He was also a playwright. He was a young actor. He directed. He was an extraordinary Renaissance man of the theater.
So he was very much behind you.
That was it from the beginning, from my birth. He named me after Katherine Ann Porter, who was a famous American author, because he wanted me to have a name I could dream on. And so he, you know, really nurtured and created a creative human being.
So you did have a name that you could dream on.
Absolutely.
And you were dreaming a lot. You write a lot.
I write a lot. I act a lot. I produce a lot. Yes, absolutely.
Do you write parts for yourself?
You know, I used to, as a younger person, I wrote parts for myself. Because of necessity, right? I had a show that I was doing that I was touring.
Oh, you did?
I've done a couple of those. Was it a one-person? I was thinking of the one-person play that I had written that I was touring on, Beatrix Potter.
Oh.
And I found out, of course, when I had booked a whole bunch of dates in advance, that I was going to end up being pregnant with my second child. And Beatrix Potter, who of course didn't marry until later, and it was not going to be working out for us,
right?
could not be having a baby. So I created another one-person play called To Be Young, Gifted, and Pregnant, because I was all those things,
and
right?
So you wrote Beyond Pregnant and Gifted, and then you acted in it?
Of course, because I'm not going to turn down the tour.
Did you come like that?
I was, you know, the size of a small Buick when I was pregnant both times.
So we're talking about your pregnancies. You're married to a very impressive actor.
Yes, I am.
Alan?
Or when people say to me, you know, Alan is wonderful. I say, well, would I be married to somebody who was horrible? I mean,
for how long?
We've been together for 40 years.
Blumenfeld?
40. Blumenfeld, Alan Blumenfeld.
And do you write for him?
You know, he's in almost every play that I write.
He is?
Absolutely.
Do you think about him when you're writing?
All the time.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who knows him better than I do?
But what kind of roles do you write for him?
Well, over the years, they've changed.
Yes.
I recently wrote a short play that someone said is the first don't ask, don't tell, come out sort of play since all of that came down in the military. But based on a true life situation of a friend of mine. And Alan Blumenfeld is this kind of happy-go-lucky guy from the Navy who's, you know, now retired guy, and he has a new neighbor who comes in, and the new neighbor says, you know, yes, I just lost the love of my life, and the Alan Blumenfeld character, instead of picking up on the cue, I lost the love of my life, as perhaps the love of my life could be male or female,
right.
just go, well, we got to get you to this bar, we got to get you fixed up. So it's a interesting
he was really
piece.
tough.
Absolutely.
And you two have acted together.
From the beginning of our relationship.
Did you meet acting?
We met the first day of acting school at the American Conservatory Theater.
In San Francisco?
In San Francisco. May 17th, 1973. A big day for me. Yeah,
really
for both of us.
for
and
both
that was
of
just
you.
it. Yeah, that was it.
And you have acted together.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, and you're acting together in Tone Clusters.
Oh, are we acting together in Tone Clusters?
Tell us about that. That's at the Theatricum.
That's at Theatricum. That's at Theatricum Botanicum. It's so interesting, you know.
But it's written by a really great playwright.
It is written by Joyce Carol Oates.
Very good.
And I got to meet her and interview her earlier this year when
Oh,
I
you
was in New
did?
York. Oh, what an amazing, extraordinary.
Intense?
You know, it's intense in a different way. It's intense because she is the purest artist I have ever met in my life.
Oh.
She's pure art. So you just see things going on her face and off her face and through her body, and she's amazing. She's
So
brilliant.
was Tone Clusters performed other places?
It's been performed in several other places. It was the first play she wrote. She wrote it in 1990.
Oh, I see.
And
oh,
it was
the
part of-
first one because she was writing novels and...
Novels and poetry
Right.
and essays. By the way, she no longer writes essays. She tweets instead.
Is
which
that right? She's so electrical.
She is amazing.
Electronic.
Electronic. You know.
Electrical, electronic.
Electrical as well. But the Humana Festival, which was at
yes.
Louisville, right?
Oh, I love that. Louisville.
Louisville. Had a special category for novelists and short story writers who now wanted to write in the theater. And she went, well, maybe I could try that.
Oh, that's how
And
it happened.
then she discovered Our World, right? It was great.
Your World.
Yeah, the
So
world
what
of
is
the
the
theater.
story? Tone Clusters.
Tone Clusters is the story of a couple played by Alan Blumenfeld and myself, whose son either did or did not kill the 14-year-old girl next door and hide her body in their basement. And they're being interviewed by a member of the media who, unlike you, is the media with a capital T and a capital M. So the piece is very much reflective of what has our society become now with the story of the moment that gets exploited, and who are these poor people who think, oh, if we just go on television and we can explain what really happened.
All of those things come into play?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's amazing.
Is it 3 characters?
The third character is the voice, the
there's a
disembodied
voice?
voice of the media
And
person.
who does that?
Jeff Wiesen, who is an extraordinary actor.
And when you have a voiceover like that, is he there every night acting?
Oh, yeah, he's there acting with us.
It's not recorded.
Oh, no, and playing with us, although we don't look at him, right? We don't see him.
Does the audience see him?
Never sees him.
Just hear his voice.
Exactly. But he sees us, you know.
So that just gives you the chills.
It does. Every
does.
time. Every time.
Does.
Every time. It's extraordinary. You know, and the manipulation of the people.
Right.
And, it's
and
very
all the
sad.
questions and all the things that you do see on the media when people say, I want to go on TV and explain myself. And how
Yes.
wrong things happen.
Oh, yes. How terribly wrong. Because, you know, it's, people blame the media, which is an interesting
Right.
choice to make. But truly, when you think about psychologically, when something bad happens, we all want to believe it couldn't happen to us.
Right. And we
So
see it's,
that's-
our neighbor. Well, that happened because they did this.
Let me see how it's not me. Oh, they did this. They were that.
Exactly.
Not a good parent because of this or not.
Right.
Whatever. So that it exploits that. And these people certainly.
Who directed it?
Mike Peebler.
And what else did he do?
This is Mike's first professional production as a director.
Really?
Alan Geer you know, God bless her, Theatricum Botanicum. Ellen Geer is loving encouraging new directors.
She's great.
She is
I
the
interviewed
best.
her years ago. She's brilliant.
Isn't she?
Yeah.
She is the real deal.
So before we leave,
Yeah.
we'll leave us hanging here.
Oh, okay.
With tone clusters.
Yes.
You're going to write a musical.
I am in the midst of
How
writing a
can you do
musical.
that?
Well, you know, if you've got a good musical person to collaborate with.
I was going to say, are you a musical
That's what
person too?
No, but I'm writing the lyrics in the book. But I've written book and lyrics before. But yes, I'm writing a show, and it's called Head Case, a dark musical about justice.
Oh,
That's the new
wow.
one that I'm writing now.
Wow.
So it's a lot of fun. And David O is doing the music for me.
David O is great.
I know. Can you believe?
No, he's
and
wonderful.
he says, this is the most extraordinary thing. There's never been anything like this. And I said, good.
Well, when
good.
you
I'm
get
glad
it
you see it that
going,
way too. Yes.
you have to have David O come on because he's always so busy. He can never come on.
I know. Absolutely. He will come on here for our show.
Okay.
Absolutely, for
All
Head
right.
Case. I
We're
guarantee
on.
it. Good. Excellent.
Catherine,
Thank you so
thanks
much,
for being
Joan.
with
you
us
bet.
too.
You bet.
And thanks for watching this part of the Joan Quinn Profiles. Keep writing to JAQUINN1 at AOL.com.